see on the field is like incredible. It's almost sage-like. You're a sage for people who are observing you on the field.
Well, I think it's a demand of, whatever role and responsibility that you have. And, one of the things that I learned is common sense is not common in everyone. Once you are the leader, you have to, apart from understanding each and every individual, so how you look at it is some perform very well under pressure. Some are not so good under that much pressure. So you have to identify individual who can do what.
How do you get to that point?
We have to understand, and what I do is I don't listen too much what they are speaking.
What they are speaking?
Yes, okay. I actually see what they are doing.
Okay.
The action. So once you are under pressure, it's always easy for me to sit and say or speak about something when the amount of pressure is less, or I know that whatever I say, I can't be judged because there's no pressure on me at that point of time. So what I try to do is I try to see the actions of the individual when they're under enormous amount of pressure, when they're not doing so well, or the required run rate is high, or as a bowler you have already gotten hit for maybe a couple of sixes, and that's where the real character comes out.
Do you consciously put people under pressure and figure out?
No. I work on the other way. What I do is, I like to give them a platform where they have more chances of performing, and then slowly groom them in the areas where they have their weakness. So one of the ways is, as a coach, you may say, okay, throw them on the deep end, they will come out swimming. Also, the fact is few of them will die. That's something we don't realize. So I always felt that, if somebody is talented, use them according to the strengths that they have, and slowly educate them about the weakness, and slowly what you will find is they start enjoying that other side of the table also. So it takes a bit of time, but what really happens is you are helping individuals become better person or better cricketers. And I felt, it has worked. May or may not always work, but that's a process that has worked for us for quite some time.
MS, as a leader, one needs to take decisions, and tough ones at that. There are times when you'll have to pick a player you'll have to drop a few players as well. How difficult is it to take such a call, A, and how do you communicate to the people who are not going to be a part of that setup for that particular game or a couple of games?
Well, throughout, a lot of conversation has been happening about the communication channel. So I never had a very clear-cut communication channel to start off. I was like, if you're playing, let's say I'm talking about India now. So if you're playing for India, and if you're played for a considerable period of time, if you are getting dropped, you should know why you're getting dropped. If I played India for 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years, it can't be that I'm getting dropped and I don't know the reason why I'm getting dropped. But still, I was fine with the individuals coming and asking me, okay, whatever the reason may be. But I only had one request. If you're coming with a question, don't have an answer in your mind.
Okay.
So a lot of times people come with a question, but they already have an answer in their mind. For me now, what became important was to say what is the fact, but in the politest manner possible. The individual knows the reason, he still comes, he asks for a reason, you're trying to justify with the best of manner. Still, he is a bit cocky, not happy. Who will be happy? If you're getting dropped from a team, nobody will be happy. So at some point of time, you're blunt, you say the exact words that are supposed to be said, and say that's what it is. So that was my way of communication. I never had a open communication line, but I was good with, if you want to have a chat, please come. Sometimes there's no justifiable reason also. One individual gets dropped because if you are talking about the batting order, let's say 4 of the batsmen are there in the middle order, 3 of them are not performing game after game, 2 games or 3 games. Somebody will have to go. And you cannot really justify. So sometimes as a captain or a management head, you can back individuals, but you can only back if in that department only one person is not doing well. So you give a few games to the individual, but there are other few games, maybe 2 or 3 games that are given by the team. Because the team is doing well, he gets 6 games. And that's why in a team sport, the whole team becomes very important.
Do you as an individual, as a leader, do you have self-doubts about everything that is happening? Do you address that? If yes, how do you pick yourself up with the results that are being churned out?
Well, actually, you can get very emotional about the fact that, oh, we had a tough time, this has not been working, that has not been working, or you become very practical about what is not working. And for us, there have been quite a few slots which hasn't gone well for us, whether it's bowling, whether it's batting. We have had individuals trying to fill in or do the role of something that should have been done by someone else. And if you have considerable period when you're not doing well, one of the most or difficult things is to have a very good dressing room atmosphere. But another thing is how to address it. And that's what I felt. That's when I felt all of us as individuals, we have to look inwards rather than saying, okay, we should first 6 over, if we get a 60 run start or 50 or whatever the X number is, it becomes easy. If bowling, if we get hit for less sixes, what we need to start doing is what I could have done different. Whatever I did, let's say I scored a 50. What else I could have done better? Rather than looking at, if he would have done, or the other individual would have done, because that becomes negative. What is positive? I start taking care of my immediate role and I start focusing on that. That way the negative sentiments don't float around. So that's how it is. And, I haven't told the team this, but, after the next game, this is one thing I will tell them. A lot of people who are part of the team are youngsters. Throughout their career, there will be point of time, where they will feel similar situation. And that's where, instead of pointing fingers, you start looking inwards and saying, what I could have done different, what I could have improved. And that way the team keeps on moving forward, and it's a very good habit to have.